A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Career Talks with Saugat Chowdhury on Ramadan FM, your go-to show for career success, job search strategies, and personal growth, all with an Islamic perspective. We are live on social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, 87.7 FM, and DAB Radio. I am Saugat Chowdhury, and I've been spending over the last 20 years in IT industry, working across network engineering, cybersecurity, cloud computing, and more. Beyond my corporate career, I founded TechSited Limited, a recruitment agency that connects professionals with opportunities in IT, healthcare, finance, and other industries. Through my experience, I've seen firsthand the struggles people face when they're trying to find jobs, transition into different careers, and advance professionally. I have also seen how employers are struggling to find the right talents and the shortage of the industry at the moment. Now, to discuss all this, I have some amazing guests with me. In a minute, I'm going to introduce my guests. But just before I do that, I'd like to tell you what we're going to cover today. So today in our show, we will cover how to break into IT and finance industry. And also we'll talk about CV cover letters and what are the importance of that. We'll talk about some of the myths about CVs. And also we'll talk about LinkedIn and networking and the power of AI. And if time permits, we will talk about the power of positivity and positive mindsets. So without further ado, I'm really excited to announce my guests who are with me today. So I've got my dear friend, I know him from school life, and his name is Mizanur Rashid. He's a senior compute optimization engineer, and he's got over 15 years of experience in information technology. I also have a distinguished accountant and a good friend of mine, Tessin Musa. He is a tax disputes and risk management, currently working for PwC, and he's also got experience in, he's a ex-HMRC specialist as well. So, Assalamu alaikum, brothers. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam.
Very good.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. How's your Ramadan going?
Yeah, good. Alhamdulillah, it's going really well.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, it's been already 11 days or so, and it's just gone so quickly. So
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's the month of barakah, so it's a special month.
Indeed.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, it's nice. Obviously, the day is short now. We've got plenty of time for, if after iftar you've got time to get ready for Taraweeh, and it's really good timing, isn't it? MashaAllah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very good timing. And yep, as my brother said, actually, because the days just passed by. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, very quick. Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. So thank you so much for being here with us today. And I'm really excited to hear about your story, try to understand how, your career journey, and hopefully our listeners can benefit from your experiences as well. So I would like to start with you, Mizan, if that's okay. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how your career progressed from where you started and where you are today.
So my name is Mizanur Rashid, and as you mentioned, so I'm a senior compute optimization engineer for the company, which are specialized in automobile industry, right? How do I start my career? So the way I'd like to start is like Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of affair. The reason I'm saying this, looking back, my journey into IT wasn't something I had planned from the beginning, but it unfolded in a way that now it feels like a blessing for me.
MashaAllah.
So I grew up in Bangladesh, right? So I completed my A-level and BSc in statistics from Bangladesh. And then I moved into UK in 2008. I continued my post-graduation in econometrics. Okay, after completing my qualifications, I realized that the skill I've developed through those qualifications, actually, these were really high demand in UK at that time.
Yeah.
So I started to look for a job, and Alhamdulillah, within few months, I secured a position in a pharmaceutical research organization. The organization was specialized in supporting pharmaceutical companies for their investment research.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, this was my first foot
Start.
into
Okay.
into my IT career.
Okay.
Then I actually moved into risk. So I moved to SRA, which is a regulatory body and regulate all law firms and solicitors in England and Wales. Okay. Within few years, so I was there for like 8 years, but within few years, I kind of progressed pretty well within this organization, and became a head of analytics for these organizations. So I can remember around like 2015, okay, data science and IT was, just getting a good
was like
momentum
infant stage. Yes.
in this IT industry. So I started to think about how we can utilize that for a proactive regulations. Okay, so I started to upskill myself as well as my team as well, and we started to develop machine learning model for proactive regulation, and that just accepted by the organization really well, because it was doing a great job. That
So you kind of saw there's a there's a future job opportunities, and there's a projection of jobs going that direction. So you've upskilled yourself and got yourself ready for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And more I move
Being
into
ahead
this,
of the
you
curve.
see this actually, because I'm getting more and more involved in
Yeah.
like tech and
Yeah.
IT side. Okay, around like 2018, data science started to take like real momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
So I thought that, okay, I need to get some, gain some experience from wider industry, so that I can be top of the data and AI industry and skill wise. All right. So I moved into consultancy, and within this, like when I was in consultancy, I was working with many clients where I helped them setting up foundation for data and AI. Okay, and not only this, because it was a good opportunity for me to upskill my
Absolutely.
myself as well. So so I joined Accenture, and I started as a senior data scientist, but within few years I was promoted to principal data scientist and also manager in data and AI for the UK and Ireland team. And last year I thought that, okay, let's try slightly something different, because I work with consultancies, and that's I thought, actually let's try with some opportunity from the client side. So I moved into Lear Corporation.
Yeah.
This is a very, I think I would say technology wise, this is a very advanced organizations. Okay, so maybe I can talk further.
We'll
about
get
this.
to we'll get to that point, and we'll talk more about the skills that you actually using now.
Yeah.
So this brings me to you, brother. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey as well?
Yeah, no worries. But firstly, thank you for inviting me on the show and having me.
It's our pleasure.
I really appreciate that. And so all the viewers that have joined and listening into these shows, thanks for joining. So I'll give a bit of my background, and I'll start off with what I currently do.
Yeah.
And then I'll take it a step back 20 years ago plus in sort of how I got to where I have today. So what I actually do is I lead the team of tax dispute specialists at PricewaterhouseCoopers. And essentially what that means is I do two things on a day-to-day basis. The first thing I do is I help clients with any contentious issues with HMRC, the tax authority. So if anyone has a inquiry, an investigation, an audit, I sort of go and help those clients in terms of managing that and providing strategy on how best to resolve those audits. Now, having an investigation or audit from HMRC is not pleasant. It can be quite intrusive, and that's where my sort of personal relationship building skills comes in, where I can handhold my client and say, okay, this is the way we're going to approach it. Don't worry, I'm here to support you. And the second part of my job is tax risk management. So I talked about the tax investigation. So that's me troubleshooting. When things go wrong, I get involved. And the other part is the tax risk management. So it's preventing a tax dispute arising.
Right.
So preventing HMRC coming out and being intrusive. And that involves sort of doing disclosures to HMRC, going into business, looking at what their systems do, what their tax controls look like, and making sure I can fix them and give them a good sort of health check. So I do a lot of work in
more like preventing it before.
Preventing it coming. Yes, prevention is the best choice, is the saying.
Absolutely.
And I do a lot of work in the deal space. And when I say deal space, it's businesses being acquired by other sort of businesses, private equity firms, and doing tax health checks. So as they go through that sales process, making sure I give them a clean health bill from a tax perspective.
Amazing. Okay.
So that's me in a nutshell on what I do today. So I lead the team at PwC, but going back to how my sort of career began, or just a step before that. So I'll give the analogy of a tree. So you're going to have the roots, and the roots are the foundation. Having good roots is important.
Absolutely.
And then as you grow as a professional, or your career, or your business, that tree grows and then blossoms into the various fruits or flowers.
Yeah.
And you've got to input into that. So the roots begin in Zimbabwe. So I was born in Zimbabwe, grew up in Zimbabwe, did my primary, secondary education in Zimbabwe. Had a very good upbringing in Zimbabwe, really enjoyed my time. A lot of the lessons I learned growing up sort of applied to what I do now. Fast forward 20 odd years ago, I sort of moved to the UK with the family. So I completed my sort of A-levels, and I had a degree at De Montfort University, a first-class honours in accounting and finance. So always been in that accounting and finance space. And sort of prior to finishing off my degree, as most graduates would do, and we'll come to this year, I started applying for graduate schemes. So a number of firms, etc. And one of the firms or the organizations I applied to was HMRC on their tax inspector graduate scheme. So as I was doing my exams, I was going to assessment centers, doing interviews with HMRC, and I got a conditional job offer.
Okay.
So the conditional job offer was, you get your degree, if it's 2-1 and above, happy days, you got the job. So a lot of pressure when I was doing those final exams, alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah and du'as from parents and family, etc. I got my first class degree.
MashaAllah.
As soon as I finished my degree, I started my journey at HMRC. So I spent just under 8 years at HMRC, and I had various roles. So I grew through the ranks. So the graduate scheme is around 4 years in length when I did it, and you do a multiple of exams to become a qualified senior tax inspector, and you do a lot of investigations, inquiry work, etc. And whilst I was at HMRC, I worked in different sort of directorates. So I did fraud investigation service work. So that's when HMRC alleges someone's committed tax fraud. So doing investigations in that front. I worked with the largest businesses in the UK. I did stuff on avoidance schemes and small individuals and high net worth individuals. So I spent 8 years at HMRC before I made probably the biggest decision in my professional career, where I decided to leave the civil service, the public sector, and go to PricewaterhouseCoopers. So whilst I was at HMRC, I had a number of investigations with PwC clients, and I was headhunted by the partner to come and lead the team in the Midlands region. And I took a leap of faith and said, okay, say Bismillah, and let's go and sort of go to PwC to lead the tax disputes team there. And I've been there for about 5.5 years or so.
MashaAllah.
And sort of my client base is varied. So it's the biggest companies in the UK, the FTSE 100. There's also the individuals and high net worth clients. But if you think about it, it's all sort of spectrums of individuals, companies that I work with. And my sort of niche area is football. And I do a lot of work in the football industry, particularly around agents' fees. And
so do you get to see a lot of footballers then?
I get to see it. I see a lot of footballers' paychecks. So I think I'm in the wrong job at times. But alhamdulillah, it's a niche I've built. So that's probably a whistle-stop tour of me in the last 13 years of my career.
Amazing. Both of you summarized your long 20 plus years of experience in few minutes. That's amazing. Looks like we've got a caller here. So let's just put this on and see who's calling. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rakib Khan. I'm from Leicester. May I speak to Mr. Saugat Chowdhury?
Yes, speaking. Sorry, what's your name again, please?
My name is Rakib.
Rakib. Assalamu alaikum, Rakib. How are you today?
Wa alaikum assalam. Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for calling. Hope you're enjoying the show.
Yeah, I am. Actually, I've got a quick question to you.
Yes. Yeah, please go ahead.
So, my question is, I know CV is very important, but how important is the cover letter? Is it really important to add cover letter with the CV, or can you please tell us how should the cover letter look like and
very
how
good.
we can
Okay, very good question. So the question is, obviously CV is very important, but if someone actually, how important is cover letter, and how should a cover letter be constructed? So thank you for this question. I think if any brothers or sisters listening and have the same question, hopefully they get a bit of answers from this. So one thing I say to all my candidates, Rakib, that if you are applying for jobs and they ask only for CV, don't just give them CV, do give them a cover letter, because that's your way of showing that you're going extra mile. So if 10 people applying for a job and you're the only person sending that cover letter along with the CV, you've already gone extra mile. That's the first point. Second point is your CV is a way to demonstrate your skill sets, but you can't put your emotions to it or your connections to the CV. But with the cover letter, you can actually say to your potential hiring manager that, look, these are my key attributes, these are my values, and you also have a chance to thank that potential hiring manager or the recruiter. So this is an opportunity for you to connect with that individual. So having the cover letter gives you that added benefit. So always worth putting the CV and cover letter together. And also another thing to highlight is, if you're putting a cover letter, if you can find the name of the hiring manager or the HR manager, address them accordingly and highlight who you are and what are the key skills you have. And also don't forget to thank them for their time to review your CV. So hopefully that answers the question. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you very much, Saugat. No, that was very important and very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much for calling. Problem. I really appreciate that. I think this is obviously this is my second show, and I'm also new to this whole hosting part of radio. So forgive me for any mistakes that I make. One of the things I told myself from the last show that I would like to encourage people to do call in, or even just WhatsApp us, or call our studio line. Our studio line is 0116 4822 I'll repeat the number. Our studio line is 0116 4822 and also we have a WhatsApp number 077 488 55055. So our WhatsApp number is 077 488 55055. So if you don't want to call, feel free to just WhatsApp message us. It will help us. We can look at your WhatsApp message and also try to address your question. So it looks like we've got a message here from a brother called Joy Islam. Thank you, Brother Joy, for listening to us and also putting your question forward. So assalamu alaikum, Brother Saugat. Nice to see you on Ramadan FM. Thank you very much. Keep up your good work with skilled resources and helping them grow their careers. Oh, Jazakallah for such a beautiful message there. I really appreciate your comment, Brother Joy. And seriously, thank you for listening to us. And hopefully with the brothers' insight from the industry and their journey, hopefully we can all learn something from this. So thank you very much again. And please do feel free to call us, talk to our experts from the IT field and also from our finance field as well. So yeah, okay, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing your story. So I think I'm going to take this off for now. And if there is any call comes, then we can put this back on. So actually, that brings me to a good point. One of the reasons I started to do this show, because over the many years, we've seen candidates who actually know a lot of things. They have a lot of knowledge, but they just don't know how to put that knowledge into their CVs and cover letters. And as a result, they're not necessarily progressing in their careers, or they're not getting the job. So we did a lot of sessions and seminars with candidates, and we found out this actually truly helped a lot of people. And I thought this is an opportunity for us to amplify that message and reach out to more brothers or sisters who's actually struggling to get a job, or actually not sure how to write or construct a good CV or cover letter. And we all know the power of CV, because if you don't have a good CV, you're potentially not going to get a good job or even get the first breakthrough. And with that CV, then you get the interview, but then comes your skills to sell yourself. Yeah, and I would like to actually hear from you guys. So when you see the people sending you CVs, obviously you're a hiring manager as well, I hear. So why don't you tell us what kind of shortfalls that you see on people's CVs, and what's your experience about that?
So that's a very good question. So basically, as you mentioned, that when we recruit someone, most of the time we don't know them. We judge them based on their CV.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing we look for is it depends on the job we advertised. Okay. Whether the key skill that we're looking for, whether the CV has those key skill. Okay. If they have this skill, yeah, we started to rank them because we cannot, invite for all of those candidates who apply for the position.
Yeah.
So basically, it's not only that you need to put your skill, but your CV needs to stand out.
Yes.
That's the main thing. And one thing I would also suggest to any candidate: do not lie on your CV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
Very true.
whenever we interview,
You need to be true to yourself.
yes, you need to be because in the end, if you lie to your CV, the problem is that actually you might get a call for the interview. Eventually, we will know
Yeah.
whether you are telling the truth or lie. But you are wasting your time. You are wasting my time as well.
Absolutely.
So never do this.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's true. Yeah. What about you, brother?
For me, there's two things I'll probably highlight. So I was fortunate to be, again, a hiring manager.
Oh, looks like. Oh, sorry to interrupt. It looks like we have another caller. So let's just quickly listen to that, and we'll come back to your point. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Alaikum salam. Saugat Chowdhury.
Oh,
Am I speaking with Shaz?
yes. Thank you for calling, Shoaib. Thank you for listening to Ramadan FM today. How are you today?
Very good, indeed. Very good. I'm actually working, but yeah, I take a little time off to listening to you and yes, to join the show.
Amazing. Thank you so much for, this is amazing. So Shoaib is actually one of our success story. And I've spoken to Shoaib about a year and a half ago. So Shoaib, instead of me telling, why don't you tell us how we, our relationship over the last year and a half and the services you received from TechSider Limited?
Right. If I recall, Serge, I think it was like almost a year and 4 months. It was just before Christmas, I think, if I recall correct. And then I found you online, and then I was a bit skeptical about your company. I was like, when I saw you, I found you, mostly you write CV about the tech person who has IT degree or looking for the IT jobs. Then, to be honest, I gave you the benefit of doubt, and then I was like, why not speak with the person? Actually, you called me, so I was like, okay, well, I was speaking with you. I was like, okay, this is what I need. I'm in a hospitality sector. Would you be able to create a CV or tailor a CV for me? And then actually from there, it was really good.
Yeah.
You actually wrote like 3 CVs for now, and then alhamdulillah, I did get all 3 jobs as a call from there. So yeah.
MashaAllah. This is amazing story actually that Shoaib. And one thing I would like to say, Shoaib has one of the CV obviously has some element of it, but the main element is yourself. And Shoaib is an amazing personality. He's actually working for some high-end restaurants, and he's a very one of the most expensive fine dining places that he works. And alhamdulillah, he's been last year and a half when I met and where he is today, he's had an amazing journey. And all I can think of, inshallah, in next few years, he's going to be even better place. And
just to let you know, just to interrupt, the CV you just made recently 2 days ago, I did get call again. I passed through the screening, waiting for the next. Excuse me. Waiting for the next interview. Yeah, thank you again.
MashaAllah, that's amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that breaking news on live. So this is
very excited, to be honest. Very excited.
Amazing. This is exactly why I feel like what we do. It makes difference, and I've always believed in that. This narrative where it says like, give a fish to a man, he only makes one meal, but teach him how to catch that fish. You've helped him for the rest of his life. So Shoaib, I really thank you for listening to us and sharing your story with us. Hopefully it inspires people. So one thing, now that we've got you, Shoaib, one thing I would like to ask you as well. So you are doing amazing in the hospitality sector. So if anybody is listening to this call and they want to get to that sector, or what are the key skills that you think they need? If you be brief and just tell us a little bit about that.
Most of it would be communication skill, because hospitality, if you're looking at high end at the moment, this is no longer as just a regular going for a dinner. It's becoming an entertainment for the wealthy guest, wealthy customer. We serve here in high end restaurants. So most of the time people expect, or employers expect from you, would be very good at communication skill wise.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're looking for a management role, you have to be on all around. But if you're looking for a specific role, then mostly the top priority would be communication. And the more you are brave, you don't have to be look, I've got certification from IT sector. Can I do hospitality? Of course you can, as long as you can entertain, as long as you can talk with other person. It's more about your personality, as you mentioned earlier. So more you bring out your personality and more you go with the people, that would be the key point the employers at the moment looking at, rather than your hard skill. Okay, hard skill you needed, but mostly you need soft skill.
Well. Absolutely. I think this is something we're going to talk about if time permits. This is an amazing thing. And if anybody is listening, obviously I'm from IT background, and we do IT is a big passion for me, but we do actually help and support other sectors as well, like Shoaib from hospitality sector. And alhamdulillah, we did a little bit of help in there, and with Allah's blessing and Shoaib's hard work, he is progressing and success, and hopefully he's going to be even more success in future. So thank you so much. Jazakallah for calling us, Shoaib. Hopefully other listeners.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Look after yourself, and inshallah, all the best for your interviews. So anybody who's listening, please do call in, and hopefully we can hear your story. And if you have any questions, or even if you want to, if you want us to talk some specific points and topics, please do let us know. I've got 2 more sessions, hopefully next Wednesday and the following week. We can try to fit those topics as well. Looks like I've got there's a question or message here. So Faisal Boda, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah, brother. They seem very knowledgeable and looking the part. Oh, mashallah. That's absolutely. I feel like I've not done justice to Tehsin Bhai. He's not had the chance to say everything yet.
No. Jazakallah to Brother Faisal as well. Really appreciate that.
Amazing. No, that's brilliant. So this is a interesting point that brother mentioned over the phone, and Shoaib mentioned about the communication skills and soft skills. So I'm interested to hear a little bit about that from you, because you are dealing with so many different high-end clients. So tell me more about that.
Yeah. So could I just take it a step back to the question you asked earlier, because I think it's important I address that, and I'll come to this question. So alhamdulillah, I've been very fortunate to be a hiring manager, both when I was in the civil service and at PwC. And what I'd say is probably the greatest tool that's underutilized when applying for a job or going through that process is your mobile phone. If you've got a job holder's name and contact details, give them a call. It makes such a difference. So when they're reviewing your CV, your cover letter, they've actually spoken to you. And the power of the phone is the most important tool in business. And that's my ethos. And then the second point was around, what to include in a CV. And I think from the community we come from, and as Muslims, we are quite humble and we undersell ourselves a lot. And what I'd say in your CV, don't undersell yourself. If you don't shout about all the good things you're doing, no one will know, and no one will give you credit for that. So that's one of my top tips. And the second top tip is list your soft skills. That's what employers are interested in. What are your transferable skills? How can you be adaptable? So, and I think that comes to your second question around soft skills. And for me, I think the most important skill is relationships. If you can build relationships, that will take you from A to Z in terms of your sort of career, your professionalism, and it's the most important tool.
You know what they say, like your networks are your net worth, right?
Yeah. And the saying is, and alhamdulillah, I've been successful in my career. People don't buy your product or service;
Yes.
they buy relationships.
100%.
They buy the person.
The
And
person,
if you
the
can build
trust.
that rapport, that trust,
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference. And I think that would be my top tip.
Amazing. That's really good. Oh, looks like we have another caller. Alhamdulillah. So let's have a look. Who's calling? Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Hello.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling?
Walaikum salam. I am Kamruddin calling from Leicester.
Assalamu alaikum, Kamruddin. How are you today? How's your Ramadan going?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm fine. The Ramadan is also going fine. So I wanted to ask a question to the guest about the positive mindset.
Amazing.
So how to keep a positive mindset and be motivated in the workplace.
Yeah.
Especially why I'm asking this, sometimes people do right and wrong both in the workplace. So
Yes.
sometimes they get appreciated for the right things, but they, blamed for the wrong things. Maybe these are highlighted more than their positive things. So in that situation, how can they still
How can you still
be
be positive?
motivated?
Yeah.
Still be positive?
Amazing. Good question.
So I'll talk about that. So, brother, I think there's two things that have worked well for me in my career in terms of staying motivated. And you know how the market is. Everybody is very ambitious, very motivated. And it's always nice to hear good things about yourself when you get feedback. You've done this well, you've done that well. But I think self-awareness is very important. So looking at yourself and saying, where can I improve? How can I get better?
Yeah.
And by just doing those small steps, you'll notice that your motivation levels will go up and you won't have any challenges. And the second one is mental and physical well-being. That is so important. You can't have one without the other.
Absolutely.
So my suggestion would be is do some sort of sport. I'm going to say golf because I love golf. Play a bit of golf. And then I think the greatest mental for me is staying close to Allah. Try and get closer, have a good iman, build your faith, and that combined with the physical has kept me motivated. So inshallah, if those tips work for anyone else, you could try it out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mizan, would you like to add anything?
I totally agree with brother Tassin, and just try to be positive. And one thing, just remember that actually, there's no failure whatever happen. Okay, it's either like you succeed or lesson learned. Okay?
Absolutely.
So just always be positive. That's the key thing.
That is actually very, very good. So when we always we see this every day. Even in our personal life, we want something, doesn't happen. It's okay. You do feel frustrated, but what do we do at that moment? It makes the difference. We can just stop there, but then guess what? That's the failure. When your real failure starts when you give up.
Yeah.
So if you fail, you learn from it, you move on. Then that's how you progress. That's how you get better. And I actually believe I've heard about this 1%. Just do one more. Yeah, just do one more concept from one of the mentors that I follow. And the moral of that is just, so imagine you're trying to improve yourself. You don't need to compare against another person. Just compare against yourself and see what else you can do, just one little thing that makes a difference. And if you could do one extra thing in a regular basis, you will be amazed the difference that you make in a year. And that could be your communication skills, that could be your technical skills, that could be your personal relationship with your friends and families, all of that. So I really appreciate your call, Kamruddin, and the point that you raised about positivity, especially at work, and having the positive mindset makes the biggest difference. Your success really drives from your positivity. And if I may also add one more thing. I don't know if you heard of this theory called red car theory. This is quite fitting because I wanted to say that, and with this question, I think this is probably the best time. So red car theory, when I first heard about that, it actually kind of like a light bulb moment to me. So when you my first car was a red Toyota. It was a very, very, very old car, but it was a red Toyota. And I remember every time I used to drive that car 20 plus years ago, and I would see all the red cars on the road. And the theory is actually that. So if you are a positive person, everywhere you look, even there is a problem, you find a positive thing at the back of it. But if you're not a person who's looking for positive things, you will find challenges, and you will only see those. So we got to condition our mind in a way so we can see the positive things, and no matter what challenges we have, we don't see the problems, we see the challenges. And when we see the challenges, we try to find the positives of it and tackle them one at a time. So does that answer your question, brother?
No, thank you. Thank you for the answer.
Excellent.
Hope it will be useful for the audiences and also for me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and can I add one thing as well? So basically, always give the best shot on your strength. Whenever you think that there is some shortfall, do not think this is a shortfall. Just consider this is an area of improvement. And there's another more important thing is negativity in the workplace should not impact your well-being and mental health, because yes, you can have a job, you can switch the job, okay? It's not an essential part of your life, but your family is the essential. So that should not be impacting your family and personal life. So yeah.
Very good point. Yes, indeed. So Jazakallah for your call, and please keep listening, and hopefully if there's any other questions, feel free to put that forward. So do we have any other messages? So it looks like we have a question here. Salam, my name is Mizan from Leicester. Thank you, brother Minhaz, listening from Leicester. And I'm a software engineer. Loving the stories of the guests. Apart from the success stories, I would love to hear the hard part of securing a job. Particular question, how essential is it to do career-related certificate like AWS, Microsoft certifications? Very good question. And second question, if one has a variety of skills, only focusing on the skills that was asked in job role, is it enough? And any suggestion? Okay, we'll take first question. So first of all, thank you, Minhas, for your message, and thank you for listening. And anybody else who's listening, please do feel free to ask any questions. So first question, I'll come to Mizan. Why don't you take that question, please?
Yes, for the first one, yes, I think it's very important to have certifications. For example, AWS or Microsoft or whatever it is. Basically, it's a credential for you. So when you are applying for a job, you're telling your client that actually, yes, I am very good at AWS. You can have that credential in two different ways. One is based on your work experience. You can say that actually this is the job I'm doing. This is where I applied this AWS skill. And the other is the AWS certification as well. So normally you can share those certificates with the employer, and it definitely increase your possibility to succeed in your job. Okay. And shall I move to the right one?
So why don't Brother Tessin answer the next one?
I'll answer the next one in terms of sort of variety of skills. And I think the key in the job market now is transferable skills.
Yes.
So you definitely need to highlight all those other skills that you have, because you can easily transfer it to your role that you're sort of going to apply for. And those soft skills that I talked about are transferable skills. And what employers are looking for is adaptability. And having those transferable skills shows adaptability, and it will help you sort of progress through your career, through your sort of progression.
Yeah, amazing. And the last question here is, any suggestions to secure top tier jobs? So who wants to take that?
So it's a combination of your technical skill and the soft skill. So basically technical skill, you can achieve it from various certification, qualification, but the soft skill is very hard to find. Yeah. You achieve that based on your experience. Yeah. Okay. So as long as you can show this, that you've developed those soft skills, it's easy. And especially in the top tier job, actually what they want to see your leadership skill.
I was going to say that. Yes, absolutely.
So you need to somehow prove that, yes, you can lead. You can lead a team, you can upskill a team. Not only this, you understand the there's
Yeah.
It's
The vision.
vision of an organization. So these are the things that going to be like really important to secure a top tier job.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I may add, one thing is confidence. So you need to be confident at what you do. So it starts from the basic. Yeah. So and what gives you that confidence? Because I'm not a confident guy in normal life, but if you know your topic, if you try to understand if you have enough knowledge, you start to get the confidence. Then you practice on it. The more we practice, the better we get at it. It's okay to fail, but we already talked about it. We learn from this. So getting confidence will help you improve your career. And as you get to the higher end of it, like the brother said, you need to have, so it's all about having the right vision. And a great leader is always renowned for his visionary thinking. So you got to have a vision. You need to lead your team from the front, make sure your vision is followed through, and if there is any obstacles, any issues, you try to tackle them together as a team. You don't leave the man behind or any woman behind, right? So hopefully that answers your question, Minhas. Thank you very much for listening to us, and really appreciate your call and message. So we've got about 10 minutes left. One thing I would like to talk about is actually the power of LinkedIn and AIs as well. So as part of recruitment and also candidate services, we also do LinkedIn profile optimization. And I've seen so many good, talented people been in the industry for years, but they don't actually have a good LinkedIn profile. And just last year alone, there were more than 2 million jobs being, received, and people finding lots of good jobs through those LinkedIn profiles. So I just want to briefly understand what's your views on that, please.
I think it's very important, because it's very helpful for your career progression, and I think I'm a live example of it. So my last 2 jobs, actually, because I was headhunted by the recruiter, and the way I was headhunted, because they saw my profile in LinkedIn first, and they thought that, okay, I would be a good match. If I'm honest with you, I wasn't looking for a job at that time, but when they came to me and explained that actually this is what the opportunity is available for yourself and we think you're a good fit, I thought, okay, I didn't think about it, and it's actually a genuine career progression, because I wasn't looking for it. So you see how important it is.
So you get headhunted
headhunted, and not only this headhunted, because without being headhunted, I wouldn't know that I could have even a better opportunity somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, amazing. And that happened in my last job as well, because it was even better than actually what I was in previously. So, it's
okay,
very important.
Amazing. So,
I'll give 2 examples. One's a slightly humorous point. LinkedIn is like the muzmachashadi.com of jobs.
Yes.
It's your profile, you're selling yourself.
That's right, yeah.
That's one aspect. And then I'll give a more personal way I use LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, if used correctly, is an asset. It's a great tool.
Yeah.
And what I do is I work with a lot of accountants, solicitors, independent financial advisors. And the way I grow my network is through LinkedIn. And the back of my LinkedIn profile, I've won a lot of work or referrals on the back of LinkedIn. So not only does it sort of produce opportunities for jobs, but for small businesses, or sort of professionals, it can be a great way of getting referral work and people getting to know you. And that's how you sort of build your integrity in that market space.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good. I think it's important to say that LinkedIn is not paying us to market, to promote their platform, and also other social platforms available for that. But and it is important to actually say these social media platforms cost you nothing. So why not take advantage of it? So brothers or sisters, anybody who's listening to it, if you haven't given enough thought of having an account on LinkedIn or social platforms like that, please do so, because you don't know what you're missing out. Yeah. So that is very important. I don't think we're going to have enough time to talk about AI, but briefly, maybe another couple of minutes, or we can have maybe 5 more minutes extra, so that we'll carry on. So we'll have a few more extra. So hopefully we can talk about AI. So let's touch that point, because this is obviously very important, and there's this is the new trend and the buzzwords, the automation and AI. So I would like to come to you first, Brother Tessin. Why don't you tell us how you're seeing this AI journey and how that impacting your work?
My work, yeah. So, people think, how does AI apply to someone that works in tax or tax disputes? And the way I describe AI, it's a tool to make you more efficient or support you. It's not there to replace you. And I think that's a key point. So I think people that are sort of growing up or in the youth, they might be thinking, oh, AI is going to take over jobs. We're not going to have jobs in the future, etc. Not at all. AI is dependent on humans, and it will be for the foreseeable future. So what I would say in terms of AI, it's learning how AI works and learning how to sort of manipulate AI to your advantage. Now, AI has some disadvantages, and I'll talk about one or two just to give an example. So in the work I do a lot of tax litigation. So I go to the courts and represent clients. And what I did once was I went on the AI version I had and said, give me a list of 2 cases for this particular issue. It came back with what I call hallucinations. It made up tax cases that don't exist. So there's a bit of a caveat. It's a great tool to use, but there are some dangers around it. But if used appropriately, it can drive efficiencies.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good. What about yourself, Mizan? How are you seeing AI is changing the landscape of your side of the industry?
Yeah, so I agree with Brother Tessin as well. And to be honest, AI is my bread and butter. This is what I've been doing for the past 5 years. And as Brother Tessin mentioned, because the AI, so you should not feel threatened by the AI. You should not challenge it, embrace it. AI is here to make your job better, to make you efficient. Okay, and as long as you start embracing AI, you would know the power of AI. You would know that actually, because what unknown.
Yeah.
Basically, actually, you don't even know actually what you are missing.
Yes.
So just embrace it. It's because sometimes we get confused by some kind of like sci-fi terms AI. So we are not there yet, nowhere near yet. You still need human touch, whatever the AI we are developing at the moment. But that should not be a competitor for us. Rather than actually there should be a co-pilot to help.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a good way of seeing this is having a co-pilot with you. So I think one of the things I would like to also kind of balance that that argument. I would like to also say we shouldn't be also quite oblivious to the fact that the AI is only going. It will definitely have some impact on some part of jobs. So and I've seen this. If you're someone who's mediocre, I think you need to be mindful that you need to skill up and move to an expert level. There's this important point about being generalistic is not always a good idea. You got to be specialist. It's the people who are successful, they are more specialist in a certain sector. So you got to be specialist, and when you use those tools like AI, it will make you even better at your job. So this is absolutely changing the landscape of things. So obviously, there is a lot of conversation about like Mark Zuckerberg is trying to replace a lot of junior software developers by 2026. But these things, these are the points. If you are just someone who knows a little bit of something, then you need to ask yourself, what else can I do to change that? So this is what I mean by being mediocre is not good enough anymore. And we need to upskill our game. And anybody who's listening to us, and if you're like 16 to 18 or even 25 years old and trying to get into the industry, I would strongly recommend, if you're in the tech industry, learn things like Python, learn things like machine learning, and any course you can do, go and do this. There's so many free tools and information out there, right? So they should try to utilize these things.
So YouTube is our best friend. If you want to spend a little bit of money, you can find many like very cheap courses on Udemy.
Yes. Okay? Yeah.
And then if you want to get like some certification, just go to AWS, Microsoft, or even some paid trainer, for example, Coursera. So there's a huge waste, because you don't have to. You can learn it in your spare time. From home, but and only this, you can, for example, Kaggle website, so you can go and try solve some data and AI related problem and upskill yourself. There's many ways, as long as you are, just very, very positive about it and embracing it,
Yeah.
yes.
You have to always embrace the
yeah.
change.
And one point I'd add to that, you can actually use AI to learn things.
Yes.
I'll give you an example, and my dad will please forgive me for saying this here, but he wanted a jalebi recipe, how to make it, step-by-step guide.
Okay.
And he put it on the AI, and it gave him the step-by-step
Amazing.
guide. And you can learn programming through AI,
Yeah.
giving me the step plan on how to do it. So AI is your friend,
Yes.
and you can learn a lot from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I come from a networking background, and network engineering is actually where I started. And what we're actually doing in that field is there's something that this tool called Ansible, and there's something called Terraform. So these are these scripting tools actually changing the landscape. So Ansible is a tool, instead of us logging on to hundreds of firewalls and changing few rules, we can actually create they call it playbook. You create some rules, and you can execute those rules to do the same work, tenfold faster. And these are the methods you can actually make more productive, make things much more easier. So hopefully those who are listening do take this on board. If you haven't got an account in LinkedIn or anything like this, do create an account. If you need any help, feel free to let us know. We can help you there. Now, we're kind of coming to an end, and we will like to start wrapping things up. But one thing I would like to come back to you guys again, just about being positive and motivation. Do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, and I think I'll bring it back to sort of our purpose and as Muslims. And what I always say, why I've been successful is, one, my parents' du'as.
Of course,
Allah's the greatest planner, so whatever is written is written.
Yes.
And your family support. I'd say take advice from your family, get that support, and if you have that, what they say, the world's your oyster. So pretty much that would be my advice.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much. Very good. Mizan, how about yourself?
Yeah, I would say very similar. Your family is first, especially like parent, because they help you set up the foundation, and then your brother and sister, you'd find that actually, because in some way, and your spouse as well, some way, they're helping you to progress in your career, and whatever it is. So be positive. It's your life is not only your life. So many others also.
Everybody around you.
Around you. So
and just one
and
final
your kids as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, just one final point. It just resonated with me, and I've remembered this year. So there's something called imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And a lot of people suffer from this imposter syndrome. So when you go for a new role or you're applying for a job, you always think to yourself, am I good enough for this job? What will happen? You start panicking. And everybody experiences this. So don't ever think you're alone.
Yes.
And the confidence point you talked about, confidence is a skill you can learn. You switch it on, you switch it off. You're not confident throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
You just turn it on when you need it. So so don't ever feel those feelings are just you. Everyone goes through them.
Everybody goes through that.
Myself as a senior person, every time I go to do a presentation, for example, I get those goosebumps. I get nervous. I think, ooh, what's the crowd going to say about me? It's that imposter syndrome. Everybody suffers from it.
Absolutely, that's a very good point. Just because you feel nervous doesn't mean you should stop there. Because you're nervous, that's why you go and do it again and again, and that's how you overcome your fear. You know what they say: if you're fearful of something, do that first, and hopefully, inshallah, you build that confidence. And so this is absolutely important. The brothers or sisters who's listening from wherever, from UK or even people listening from outside the UK, please do let us know where you're listening from, and also if you have any questions, I'll tell the brothers who's organizing this to pass those questions to us so we can answer those questions. One of the points I'd like to say, like you said, brother, Allah's the greatest planner. We can all try our best, but our rizq is written, and inshallah it will happen. But one thing we should all try to do is never give up. Keep on trying, and the result will come in its own time. Now we've got about 2 minutes left, so I'd just like to tell anybody who needs any help or support for your careers, your CVs, or your cover letters, or even LinkedIn profile optimization. TechCited Limited is there to help and support you. Contact us, and we will try to schedule you a consultation, and then we can take it from there. Also, in terms of the brothers are here. If you have any questions, please do let us know. We will pass this to them, and we'll get some answers from them as well. One thing we'd like to say, Ramadan FM is doing amazing job for the community. So it's not just about the career and just for ourselves, like the brother says. It's about your family. It's about your community. So everywhere we can, we should always try our best to help our communities and support people who really needs the support, because it's not just about our success, because it's no point us being successful and if we're not doing something for the community. So I encourage you all to help each other and improve everybody around you. So if we can all help our people around us, inshallah, we are going to have a better community and a better society, and everybody benefits from this. So once again, I'd like to thank you, Ramadan FM, and thank you for the listeners who are listening and all the brothers who actually called us today. Thank you very much. I'd like to say thank you to all my guests for coming. Tasinbhai, thank you very much.
My pleasure, and thank you for hosting us as well.
Thank you. And Mizan, thank you very much for coming. I know you came from Birmingham, so it's a great commitment, especially after fasting and pray, after the whole day of work and fast, and then you came here. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thanks to Ramadan FM as well for the opportunity. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, so inshallah next week we will talk about more about careers, and we will also talk about different type of interview techniques and how we can help you in terms of different interviews, and also the power of soft skills. We touched a little bit about communication skills. There are so many things we can talk about it. So when we start talking, it seems like 1 hour is not enough. So there are negotiation skills. We would have had a great topic from you about negotiation. I'm sure you do a lot of those things. So inshallah, we'll talk about this next week. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.